people. One of the things that we are just now starting to get a better handle on is the kinds of operational elements that programs that are doing work internationally don't often think about when they're putting their budgets together. And they do and can have a significant cost. And for sponsors where you have to have line item approval, it can be really difficult after the fact when you find that you have some of these really critical costs. How are you going to incur them? Where are you going to find the money? Can you rebudget in that sponsor? Can you, what are your capabilities? And they might be limited. So the sooner that people think about these things, the better. So employee, if your programs are going to hire, either take expats from other countries and locate them with your project abroad, or hire local citizens in that particular setting, you have to be really clear on what your HR program needs to be. Who's considered an employee, who's not considered an employee. From a legal perspective, you need to understand that. How are you going to pay them? Are you going to pay them through an HR firm? In some countries, that's your only option. But if you didn't know that, you could put those employees at risk. What kinds of benefits are required? In some countries, the social tax, if you will, can be as much as 20%. And for some sponsors, that's not an allowable cost. So you just kind of have to know all of that as you're going into these countries. And so one of the things that we've done, and we need to make it even better, is as those proposals come through, as part of that online evaluation process, there has to be some, right now it's just kind of a click. They click a button if the project has an international component. And at some point, we're hoping that gives us an opportunity to reach in at that point and make sure that they've considered some of these things. The system just doesn't have the capabilities. But again, continuous improvement. We do now do training on campus for exactly what I'm talking with you about today, but even more in depth. Templates and costing sheets and checklists and all that kind of stuff, so that the people like you that help the PIs put the budgets together have the kind of information that you need to make sure you're not missing anything. Safety issues can be really critical. Do they need security? Is the building in which the work is going to be conducted safe? Do you need card readers? Do you need, how does that need to be set up? Because again, that has a cost impact potentially. How do you want to handle visas? Both people going there and coming here. One of the challenges that we've had with one of our really big programs is every year they want to have a meeting of all of the country office directors. Well, if they don't get the right visas, their ability to come here as employees can be quite limited, because technically while they're here, they're earning money. Some visas allow you to do that, some do not. And so you need to kind of think about that stuff and what is your campus policy on managing, sponsoring, and administering visas. Customs costs, that can be really expensive depending on the degree to which you send supplies and materials abroad. So you got to think about that stuff. There's companies that do that. There's a cost to doing that.